All right, what's going on, you guys? What's going on? This is officially this week's Sunday market analysis. I'll be giving you guys breakdowns on US 30, NAS 100, and then honestly, no, really, that's really all you need. I'm gonna talk a little bit about what happened last week on the charts, and then we're gonna get into what we are looking for this week on the charts as well. So start off with NAS. If you guys remember last week. All right, what was my analysis that I gave you guys last week? Actually, let me see if I can refresh this very quick. I don't know why TradingView isn't letting me have my MAs right now. But basically, act like the MA is not here for a second. But last week we talked about those main key levels that I was looking for on the charts. The first one being a full retest back to a support structure right around here. I think it's right around this area right here is around 44,000. And then the second structure that I was looking for was, okay, let's see what happens if the market comes back to this structure right here if it was to break price. So it was like 43,530, I want to say, somewhere around there. And then the main entry that I was talking about was 44,000. These were my main two buy entries that I was looking for US 30. I was waiting for the market to push down to this area so that way I could look to take buys. So this is kind of like the main thing that I was talking about in last week's Sunday market analysis video that I broke down. But as you can see, how did last week play out? We had a gap back to that same previous higher low, and then it gave us nice, beautiful buys on Monday. And then Tuesday, New York, we had those full sell-offs all the way back down to that 44,000 mark that I talked to you guys about on Sunday. And then after that, beautiful double time retest, double bottom retest, and then London session they took off for the buys, gave us like a spike. I believe this was Trump. Trump news came out, if I'm not mistaken. I think this was the day that they talked about, excuse me, this could have been the Powell day, if I'm not mistaken, the day that they talked about, oh, Powell is potentially getting fired by Trump, that whole day. I'm pretty sure that was this day where we saw fake sell-offs, came back to retest those London lows, and then they immediately respected its price, which literally confirmed for me that this analysis was correct. And then not only that, but it's also confirmed for me that this was the start of the reversals for the bull trend, right? So once it broke this structure and failed to close and immediately snapped back, that's letting me know that, all right, this is our price floor. This is a key sweet spot area for the 4 hour where it's letting me know that the trend is starting to reverse for the buy. So we've been in lower highs, downtrends for like the past 2 weeks of July. And then literally last week was the start of, okay, cool, this might be time for the reversals. And sure enough, as you guys see, after the fake news and everything that happened, the market continued to push highs and want to continue to test these previous lower high structures on the charts. Now, this kind of leads me to my next point. So this was a beautiful day on Friday. Friday is sold off. And then I was actually on Friday, I personally was looking for the buy reversals to start setting us up to take buys back up to like sell-offs from opening bell. And then I was looking for the full reversals for the buys back up to the upside, back to the same resistance structure, just because of how strong those sales were. And obviously it gave us a retest back to this higher low structure right here, which is letting me know that, cool, you gave me a retest back to the structure. I want to look for the continuation of the trend. I'm going to actually make this zone a little bit bigger. So this is my support, but this is the actual full zone. So as you can see here, this is where it found a resistance, it found a support, it found a resistance, and it just consolidated in the structure, and then it broke out of the structure. So what we're seeing right here on Friday, this was kind of like a break and retest back to this structure. And that's why I was like, okay, cool. I'm looking for the buys for the continuation. Strong sell-off. Cool. You feel the close below the zone. You retest it. Bet. I want to look for the continuation. But then, right, Friday, tariff announcement came out. I think he put a 93% tariff. It was like either 93 or 98% tariff talk on, I'm not going to say on who because I actually don't remember. Let me see if I can go back to what it was. All right, so maybe it changed. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe it wasn't 93. But this probably was what I was talking about. So Trump pushes for 15 to 20% minimum tariffs on all EU goods. I swear it was something else before this one, but maybe I'm not. Maybe this is what I saw, and I don't know where I got 90 from. I apologize for saying that. So it's 15 to 20% tariff All I know is once he announced the tariff announcement, it caused US30 to sell off a little bit more right here. And then the same thing go for Nas. If you was looking for like those buyer versus on Nas, I'll get to that in a few too. But on Nas, it was the same scenario where the buyers were setting up perfectly, and then the market immediately came back and sold off because of that news announcement. And then the rest of the day, it kind of consolidated for those buys, but not really going anywhere. And that kind of leads me to my point for this week, or what am I really looking for this week on the charts. So if I wasn't looking at my MAs is crossing right now in the 4 hours. So this is kind of giving me bias to want to look for a sell push back down to this stretcher, right? Like testing it one more time for the continuation, but also me not focusing on my MAs and just strictly focusing on price action right now. I can't, for some reason, not letting me hide it. So I'm gonna just do the next best thing and just delete them off my chart. Um, Without focusing on my MAs though, if I'm going based off of what I already said before, we have a higher low. I mean, we have our previous support structure that had got tested, created a higher low. The market consolidated in this area, created another higher low, and then extended up to take the buys. Usually, so in this scenario, this is for me, this is already my green zone, right? It's kind of like how I like to mark my chart stuff and stuff. So like this is like my zone. This is my higher low zone. This is what confirmed for me that this was a buy area. Cool. Bounced off. This area, it failed to broke this stretcher. This was a previous resistance stretcher. So this is a red zone. This is my red box. Boom. It sold off back to this green zone. Now, whenever I'm kind of giving you a kind of like how I set up my charts and stuff, but I think I broke this down before on one of my actually I did in the higher high, higher low video I did. I talked about this. But when it comes to like when I get that retest, this box goes from green to orange because now this is a question mark. This is the area where it's like, okay, are you going to get retested right here in this area? Is this going to continue to remain as a buy? And if so, for me, it would have remained as a buy as long as it continued to push up on Friday. But right now, we're still too close to this area. Right now, I'm recording this 6:05, so the market actually should be back open over here on our futures and indices and stuff. But I'm not trading right now. I'm just giving y'all the analysis. It's actually the latest I've ever sent out a video to y'all on YouTube. I apologize for that. But okay, what am I looking for though? What is Abe looking for this week? What are my main areas of interest? So for starters, let's talk about news. News, no news on Monday. So it's already going to be low volatility. Oh, I ain't going to say that. It's going to be not a lot of reversals opportunities on Monday. Monday is going to be a one directional type of day. For me, I love Mondays because Mondays typically are the days that we find out where our new highs are going to be or where our new lows are going to be. So what that means is it's going to be those big days on the charts where you're catching 200 points, 2,000 pips, 200 to 300 pips. So like even if I show y'all this right here, if US30 was to sell off, let's say US30 was to sell off, it's going to sell off and come all the way back down here to test the support structure. As you can see here, this is a 300 pip move, right? This is a 3,000 pip move, 300 point move, 3,000 pip move, right? Same thing. So even this is beautiful sell off. So I can see New York, boom, it sell off is do its thing, whatever. Cool. Tuesday, we look for buys once that 8:30 a.m. news drop. But vice versa, if it's time to look for buys, cool. It retests this support structure right here. I'm gonna show y'all. So if US30 doesn't break this zone structure, this becomes a higher low again, aka this becomes a buy zone for me to look for my buys. And instead of look for the sales at the break, I'll be taking buys off of this, or I will wait for the closure above the zone again. Or depending on how y'all trade, I trade more sniper. I'm more like on point with my entries. So like if I'm catching a full move, I might enter down here for this support once it confirms that it's not breaking the structure. If it does, or if it's chilling, cool, you can wait for up here. But regardless, I'm taking a buy back to this high. So I'm showing y'all this because I'm giving y'all both perspective because I'm not, you learn like as a trader, we don't care about, we care, yes, you can have a bias of which way you want the market to go. But at the end of the day, don't stress too much on it because regardless, either way, we're going to eat. If you're a day trader, if you're a swing trader, either way, we're going to eat. Right? So if I'm looking for the sales, cool. I got an opportunity to still catch 2,500 to 3,000 pips, depending on where I enter at. If I'm looking for the buys, cool. I can look to catch 2,000, 3,000 pips looking for the buys. Because either way on Monday, Monday is a day that sets the tone for the week. But it's also a day I would say when it's no news, my rule for when it's no news, I don't trade the indices or the futures until after 9:45, 10 a.m. Right? I let the market open up. I'm not entering early before opening bell. I'm waiting. I'm letting the market do its thing. After opening bell opens up, 9:45, 10 a.m., that's when I'm looking to take my entries. I'm giving y'all a game, right? And I'm giving y'all this game. I'm giving y'all so much free game, like even me doing these breakdowns, because I know some people that's actually going to listen. And then there's going to be the other half that's going to blow past this whole video or just ignore exactly what I'm saying right now. And they're going to miss out on information. So it's like people are like, oh, hey, why are you giving away the sauce? Because some people are naive to the information I'm giving them anyway. But if you are one of the people that's actually paying attention and listening to like key times and key areas I'm telling you about, I promise you, you're going to be straight, right? So sauce number one, let me recap right quick. US 30, if it does not break this structure on New York session, opening bill, and it bounces off of this during opening bill, I will be looking to take buys on US 30 back to this high up here. So smooth 2,500 to 3,000 pips. If it does take off for this sales, cool. If it break this structure down below here, or depending on where we at, but I'm gonna just say the more safer entry for you, because y'all obviously are not in my chats or nothing like that. If it breaks this structure down here, we can look to take sales back to this higher low. This is gonna be the final test that's gonna confirm if it's respecting this structure or not, or if it's gonna break through this structure. If it end up breaking through, then cool. We hold our sales and just let the market melt off for however long we don't care. But if it doesn't, if it bounces off of this, right, and then comes back above this zone, cool. What is Abe gonna be doing most likely? You probably, if you follow me on TikTok or you follow me on Instagram, I might post on Instagram or TikTok or something saying like, man, I'm in these buys right here, and I'm gonna be holding this swing trade back to this structure right here, and then up until here. And as you can see, this is a 6,000 pip move on the charts. So that's my analysis of what I'm looking for mainly for US 30. And then I guess that's my two buy analysis. If I'm looking for the sales, well, I gave you a buy here and I gave you a buy option here. Sales if it break, and then the final sell will be same thing. If it comes up into this red zone and it doesn't move with momentum and it doesn't look like it's about to go anywhere, 9 times out of 10, the market is about to get ready to sell off. You could choose to enter off of this same price area where this candlestick showed you that the sell momentum was here, or you could just wait until it closed back under the zone again. Once it closed back under the zone, I'm gonna probably look to take the sales back down to this structure right here, 2,500 pips. Honestly, yeah, I probably just look for a 2,500 pip move back to this structure right here, or like right back on this higher low structure. It really just depends on what it shows me my main support for London session. And then I'll go from there when it's time to trade during New York. So that's that's US 30. I'm sorry. Nas 100. Right. Let me get rid of my Fibos. Nas 100. This one is a little bit more I ain't gonna say ugly, but ugly, right? Because this is what I was talking about where Friday, beautiful buys, fake break outside of this candlestick. And this was the candlestick. Once it broke the structure, this is my confirmation. Like, okay, cool. Like I can look to hold it for the long run. And then that news drop, and then just sold back inside this zone again, and then just continued to push. And as you can see, what ended up happening? It started to come back for that main move. Now, this is something I talked about on TikTok. I'm gonna talk about it over here on y'all for the breakdown session too. Whenever, like, let's say the market is moving slow, it doesn't even gotta be the market moving slow. Like, let's say like when Trump announced something or some random Trump news come out and he just come in and just throw out the markets. And it's always usually a sell-off that happens, right? How can you use proper risk management? How can you predict what's gonna happen next? So one, you can never predict when he's gonna say something. So obviously, if you look for like a holy grail answer to that, it's nothing you can do. But all you can do is trust your analysis, right? So for me, I caught the bias. I had my trailing stop loss set, of course, because I use good risk management. Boom. Got without the trade because of news. Market sold back off. Typically, the manipulation is obvious. So it's like the markets wanted to go for the buy. Manipulation came out. He announced some whatever news to cause the market to sell off for a fake panic, just for the market to recover and make its way back to the actual main move that you wanted anyway. So if you get caught in a wick entry, if you hit stop loss, or if you're holding a trade, I don't unless you're using proper risk management. Obviously, I wouldn't recommend holding a trade when news just drop. Like that'd be like, bro, that's revenge trading in a sense because you kind of like gambling and see like if it's gonna come back. Unless you got the capital to weather the storm because you know the move coming back. Me personally, that's kind of like how I trade it. My interest for the most part are always down here. So even with this sell off, I wasn't in drawdown at all. Besides the first entry that I got without, that one was out. And then once I entered again off of where was it at? It wasn't this one. It was this kind of stick right here. I took the buys off of this kind of stick. Off of the actually, if you watch the Funded Academy series that I have going on right now, I gave away my scalper strategy. In that strategy, that's part of the strategy that I use to take this entry off of the buy. So if you want to know how I be trading, that's one of the ways I trade. And honestly, y'all can make a lot of money off of that style alone of how I trade. That's not my main move, my main trading strategy, but that is definitely one of the ones I'm like, you know what? Let me scalp the market real quick. Let me make some quick money, get in and out, and I'm cool. Right. So I took the buys off of this support structure right here. I am still holding it. But I am gonna I'm probably gonna close it just because I don't want to be too biased on the week. I kind of want to let the market show me what it's doing. Because like right now, when you're looking at it, it just look ugly and choppy. So this is where I'm thinking, right? I did all that talking for what? This is an area that has to get tapped. It has to come back to tap this lower high. It may come here during London and sell off, right? It might do something like this during London, and then sell back down here. Confirm that's a support structure. And then during New York, we can be looking for buys, or vice versa. So the market's open up right now, right? It can just sell off for London. And then I don't know if I've been peeping, but like Nas 100 low-key been moving during London session. I'm still not gonna touch it during London session because that's not my time frame to trade Nas. But I low-key been peeping like the London session moves have low-key been eating like crazy. Like that's been crazy, like what I've been seeing, but I think it's still false. So I ain't really a believer in it too much yet. Just because I don't actually want to be up and trading it how I actually trade when I trade during New York. But vice versa. So it can push here for the sales for our London. And then we're going to see Nas take bull runs back up to this structure, right? And then there might be like, since this is a key price level, there might be a pullback or a sell-off that's going to happen from here back to around here. And then we're going to see that continuation push to the upside. Ultimately, though, if it's up to me to decide, I want to see this my fault. I still got the arrow selected. I want to see the real move come all the way back here. For Monday, this is my theory. I want to see highs either touched here. And then once again, let's run a scenario, right? So let's say you just wait until the break above from here to here. That's a cool 400 pips. If you're trading with the futures, this is still $1,000 move, $2,000 move, 10K move, depending on where entry at. Or just twin trade it. But that's a conversation for another day. If I'm waiting for this entry down here, cool. Now we got us a full 100-point move, right? On the chart from here to here. That's a beautiful swing. Oh my gosh. Right? Or I'm gonna give y'all the final offer, and it's probably what y'all want me to say. All right. This is probably what y'all want me to say. And it's gonna be something like this. So London session pushes up for the buys here, fails to break this structure. This is creating a lower high. We're already at all-time highs. I've been talking about this for a week or two now. We're already at all-time highs. Fails to break the structure during London, starts selling off. During New York, wherever we are, is going to continue to push and break this structure down here. Then we're going to see London. Then we're going to see Nas really push and really show us our new low for the week. And that's going to be back to this key support structure right here. Technically, this is a previous zone. Like I could draw like a whole box right here, but you can already see this was resistance at one point. This was support. This was resistance. This was support. Like it shows you this was an area that was sideways market. So I wouldn't be surprised if we got a retest here in the buys. But when I talk about how I trade on Monday, or when I look for like nice big momentum moves on Monday, it would be something like literally something like this. So what that means is I'm telling y'all that if it doesn't break this around New York and it starts selling off, we could potentially set our first target here. And then besides that, we're going to have a runner position that's going to go here. Mind you, it's so crazy looking at this because since I haven't had my ceiling shot in a while, I haven't really been paying attention to pip counts. I just been paying attention to like higher low levels and just setting my TPs based off of that. I'm not looking for big moves or nothing like that. But now that I'm actually paying attention to it again now lately, I've been looking at it. Nas 100 used to go for 1,200 to 1,500 pips a day easily. So like this move right here is in this ballpark. Actually, I can show you right here to the left. This was Thursday. So Thursday, it came to the support structure. New York session, it took off from here and it took all the way up. This is 2,000 pips on Nas. So both of these moves are in this ballpark. And this is only 1,700. So technically, it got room to push all the way down here. And then vice versa. If it goes to the buys from here to here, this is just 1,000. But that means if it got 2,000 pip moves to push for on Monday, we could see it go for all-time highs here. And if you don't believe me, right? If you think I'm just talking, let's come back to Monday and let's see how Monday took off. So this is Sunday night. Sunday night, let's say I just waited till like 9 a.m., 10 a.m. candle. So this is 10 a.m. candle. This is 9 a.m. Boom. You enter off of here. 3,000 pips is what it took off on Monday. Let me show y'all again. Let me come back over here. Yeah, I think I'm just talking. Let me come back to this Monday a week ago. It's 5, 6, 9 a.m. Oh, it's 8 a.m. I'm sorry. This kind of stick right here is 9 a.m. candle. I'm not saying enter at the 9 a.m. candle. I'm just giving y'all an idea of how many pips it's going for. So this one gave you 1,500 pips, right? But the beauty about this is it gave you 1,500 pips, and then it gave you a nice pullback for 1,500 pips. So you caught the sales, boom, 1,500. You caught the buys, boom, another 1,500, right? But this is a whole, wait, is this still Monday or is this, I'm sorry, this is going into Tuesday. So yeah, technically this is still Monday, pullback into that. And then Tuesday, it came here, boom, and then still Wednesday. This was news though. But still on Wednesday, I can do this all day, but I'm not gonna make this video long. I'm gonna keep it short. I'm gonna keep it simple for y'all. Simple. I cannot talk. I'm gonna keep it short. I'm gonna keep it simple for y'all. I'm not trading right now. I'm not one of the traders that trade as soon as the market open. I don't care to scalp or trade like that. I like to be patient and wait for my main move. When we look at the news, technically, if you don't want to trade on Monday, you don't have to. Just wait till Tuesday to have your fun on the charts. That's what I did last week. We got Powell speaking at 8:30 a.m. 10 a.m. news. Wednesday, we have existing home sales. Thursday, this is going to be a big day, right? We got the Euro, French flash manufacturing PMI. And then if you don't care about the Euro or the GBP, and none of that, if you don't trade during that time, cool. 8:30, unemployment claims. 8:45 a.m. news. And then boom, 9:45 a.m. news. Flash manufacturing PMI. There's going to be two type of people. We can trade before it. You can catch a sniper entry before the flash manufacturing PMIs, or you can just simply wait until 10 a.m. and the same move is going to be there. And it's going to be way less stressful because you're not going to be stressing and panicking. Oh, news about to get a drop. How's the market going to react? Like, should I get out of this trade? Should I hold? How about you take profit? Wait till after 10 and let the market really show you the move. And you can be way more comfortable and catch a way more cleaner setup than you probably would have caught trying to enter early. I'm trying to tell you, it's less stressful that way. So this is officially my market analysis for the week. Feel free to leave in the comments if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. Leave a like for your boy. Subscribe if you are new. And then, of course, for those that are new or for those that are ready for tomorrow, every Monday, I release a Funded Academy segment onto my YouTube channel. So it's some type of game, some type of sauce. I haven't decided which video I'm going to release this week. I might switch it up, talk about some psychology talk, or I might actually give y'all I'm trying to think. I'm whatever I decide, y'all know obviously tomorrow. Tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's usually around that time where I release my videos. So I'll catch y'all then. Peace out.